To start with, a few years ago, in the French journal Carnet de Géographe, there was a call for papers about a question for geographers, for French geographers, and I am a French geographer. Why is there so little place for theory in our papers compared with Anglophone articles? And one reason was probably that we give a lot of importance of fieldwork, not only in our research, but also in the writing of our papers. So maybe because of this, it is difficult to generalize, it's difficult to stick to one theory, because of course the fieldwork does not fit really the general theory that has been beautifully designed by others. So there are advantages and disadvantages. Empirical groundwork definitely allows deconstructing and criticizing theoretical concepts. So to some extent it is good to validate or not hypotheses and notions. But my point today is that it's also useful maybe for criticizing basic technical categories, more material points rather than very theoretical concepts. So this will be the point, and so it's not the latest version of my paper, so I will deal only with one point, which will be the first and the last point, that is the blurred distinction between organic farming and natural farming, and also the difficulties to make a distinction between crossbreed cow and daisy cow when you make fieldwork, when you meet the farmers. Yet, from here, it's very clear that if you go to some website, especially to the government website of the National Center for Organic and different information. So it's relatively clear. If you hear Subhash Palekar, the founder, more or less mythical disseminator of natural farming, it's even clearer because he gave this famous interview, organic farming is worse than atom bomb. So definitely, for him, organic farming is very different from his cherished natural farming. What is natural farming? I have no time to elaborate, and many people here know what it is. So I will skip the political issue, how much it is linked to Hindu nationalist vision of environment. Just I will stick on the agroecology. So in a nutshell, natural farming is using not as much as possible, totally the only resources of the farm, or at least of the local ecosystem. You cannot import inputs, not even organic manure, into your farm. So that's why it was called zero budget by Subhash Palekar, in order to show that for the farmer it could be some kind of autonomy, of food sovereignty. Unfortunately, of course, it has a budget, it has a cost to the farm. The basic focus of natural farming is soil. And soil is considered as a natural feeding wealth, annapurna, and soils just need to be awakened by what Palekar called Jiv Amrit, life nectar. And this Jiv Amritam in Tamil Nadu, is made, as you can see, of rather classical cow dung and cow urine, but also black jaggery, ram pulse floor, and also some soil, banyan tree, bamboo, forest soil, in order to stimulate the feed. So note that this screenshot was taken from a website with a mistake, because you see the caption, organic liquid fertilizer Jiv Amrit. No, it's not a fertilizer, it's only a stimulator, and the quantities spread are much less than for usual organic fertilizer. So there are other preparations such as beach amrit, whatever. The focus is on soil life, on soil microbes, and it's not so much on bringing more nutrients onto the soil. So it is more or less to be compared with biodynamics that are popular in France to some extent, especially in wine cultivation. And since it's only a matter of microorganisms, you see that one cow is enough for stimulating 10 hectares. So it's huge. A few states have already got a very voluntarist dissemination policy. Maybe the most famous is Andhra Pradesh here, who wants to convert officially all the farmers, all the 6 million of farms of the state. There will be a paper on it, so I will not extend more. But other proactive states are Himachal Pradesh, Gujarat, etc. And I got surprised when I started my fieldwork in Tamil Nadu and around Pondicherry 1 or 2 years ago, because I had in mind that such a policy does not exist in Tamil Nadu, in Pondicherry, so I was not expecting natural farming, or at least Jivamritam, in this area. This project, this research was made under a project on food justice, food democracy, trying to generate both healthier, cheaper food for the consumers, but also better income for local farmers. Of course, it's very difficult to solve this equation, except with short marketing chains, but it's easier said than done. Anyway, we made a survey with Kate Padmavati on organic farmers around Pondicherry, and one result was that, no surprise, organic farmers are larger farmers than the average, and or they very often have a non-agricultural income in their household in order to reduce the risks of organic farming. And another result was a huge diversity of organic fertilizers and stimulators used by the farmers. Out of 29 organic farmers, 31% use Jivamritam, whereas I was not expecting myself such an input. And 34% use Amirtacarisal, which is another preparation, relatively similar, but not at all in the list of Subhash Parekar's recommendation. What is Amirtacarisal? Once again, there is cow dung and cow urine, there is jaggery, but there is no soil, there is no pulses in the recipe. And on top of that, all the sample farmers, but one, used Panchagavya, the 5 elements of the cow. Panch, well, actually, very often it is Sat Gavya, Das Gavya, but here you see one kind of preparation, again with jaggery, but also milk, etc. This is also commonly used not only by organic farmers, but also by conventional farmers in this area. So you can see that there are very diverse types of organic inputs, and I don't speak of fish amino acid, which is also quite common. But there are also very diverse uses of each type of organic input. And for research, it's very difficult to know exactly what means what, and to make this table. I mean, the figures are very wrong, and it's only a gross result that I could get, because each farmer has its own preparations, its own use, depending on the field, depending on the weather, depending on the crop, etc. And one said even Jivamritam and Amirtacarisal are same See what he said? I put soil in the preparation of Giver and Betam only if I use it for irrigation. If it is used for foliar spray, I don't include soil. So, what's the difference? Nothing. So, you see, all these names are our categories, academic or extension workers categories or Subhash Palikar categories, but it is not their categories, farmers' categories. And on the contrary, actually there are very porous boundaries between natural and organic farming. And as a KVK official told me, it's better to club together organic farming and natural farming. It's only a matter of classification. If a farmer prepares fish acid or panchagavia on his own farm, it's actually natural farming. Yet, officially, it is considered as organic farming. So we must conclude with what is well known, farmers' imperialism and opportunism. I met a farmer who was very purely organic, according to him, etc. We had 1 hour of discussion, and suddenly I saw this door, and here maybe you can see 19. In Piquet. Oh yes.
He also.
Crossbreed cows for milk production, the white solution, and they are the good old indigenous cows that may be good for producing A2 milk. And according to websites, the distinction is very different. As this one precises, native cow can reach any part of its body with head of tongue. I will not check regarding just. And as you know, these Desi indigenous cows experience some kind of revival, not only for milk quality, but also for these preparations regarding natural or organic farming. Probably thanks to the type of feeding, grassland is better than cakes for the quality of manure and urine. So to speak last time about Palikar, he had 2 targets: the North American earthworm and the Jersey cow that are of foreign origin. So as Fitzpatrick and others call it, it's a kind of bio-nationalism. So this is once again very clear. But actually on the field it is much less clear. First, as you know, there is a lot of interbreeding in India. According to the last livestock census, half of the cattle in India is nondescript, and only 22% are indigenous cattle, and 26, another quarter is made of crossbreed milch cows. And when you go to South India, it's even more complex. Because in South India, Desi cow is said Natamade, Nata, Nadu, Tamil Nadu, it means country cow, but what does it mean, country? It may mean the nation, it may mean South India, it may mean also the local area, like Desh in Hindi or Pays in French. So there are many Gir, there are many Red Sindhi cows in Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry, but are they Natamade? Because they are from North India, even from Pakistan, Red Sindhi. So this is really an issue. And according to me, there are 4 categories, not only 2. First, the milch cows, crossbreed cows. Second, the actual Natamade, Tunganur, Tongayam, local Tamil breeds. Then the northern Desi cows, and then the rest. So you see, it's much more complex than a dual view of cattle. And in any case, as an organic farmer told me, it's it's a strange kind of mathematics. So this is one more case of, wow, yeah, it's very much deconstructed. And so as a final discussion, as a conclusion, it's food for thought regarding the ways of dissemination, because we can wonder, this Jeevanamritam, etc., how did it come to Pondicherry? Has it spread from Andhra Pradesh state policy? I don't think so. Has it spread from national gurus, such as Subhash Palikar, who visited Pondicherry a few years ago? Has it spread from regional natural gurus, such as Namalwar, who is still very popular, he passed away a few years ago? Or Andhra Pradesh, the natural farming does not work as well as wished, but maybe in other areas in India, Jeevanamritam in some parcels of natural farming are disseminating relatively quickly. Definitely it's not a revolution, and probably it's not really a strong evolution, since we are far from the ideal systemic, holistic vision of natural farming. It's only some technical points, such as Jeevanamritam, that are disseminated. Nandri, merci.
Long live India and France friendship.